Hello guys, welcome back to the shop. This is a 2023 CRF450R. Check this out. It won't start. Nothing happens. Lester brought this bike to me, said it won't start. He said he jumped it or charged the battery and was able to get it to start back up again and rode it for a little bit, and then I guess it died again and it won't start. So guess the first thing we're going to do is check the voltage at the battery. Let's see what she reads. Well, there's no voltage, so let me go ahead and put it on the charger for a minute and then see what we have. Seems as if this battery charger doesn't even want to charge this battery. We could just be dealing with just a flat dead battery. Alright, I found a lithium battery, borrowed out of my quad here, so let's give it a shot. Battery connected, battery charger is off. She's reading 13.8 volts at the moment. Let's see. Seems like the charging system is good. The voltage was going up as she's running. You see I shut it down, shut it off, and now the voltage is going back down. So it is charging the battery. I know like our cars and maybe your trail quads and stuff like that, we like to see like 13.5 or 14 volts when they're running. But on these motocross race bikes, they try to keep the load off the motor by not putting a very strong charging system on it, just barely enough to charge a battery, and I think that's what we're seeing here. It's just going to slowly climb that battery up as it's running. It might get it to 13.5, but the point is it's climbing up, which means it is charging the battery, and that's a lot of times that's all we can expect to see out of these race bikes. Well, as of right now, it appears to be just a battery, so let me go ahead and order a new battery and let's see what that does. Alright, the new battery has arrived. We ordered one from Rocky Mountain, a Tusk battery here. You get these for about 76 bucks. It got the little light, lets you know when it's charged. That's pretty cool. But after speaking to Lester while I was waiting for this battery to arrive, he filled me in that he's been dealing with some overheating issues on this. I asked him if it was just from riding slow down the trails or whatever, or you're not getting up to speed where you get enough air to the radiators. He says he's riding around on like first gear, second gear. I was like, ugh, you might be running too hot. These CRF450s, these newer ones, you run them too hot and they like to blow head gaskets. I've seen quite a few of them just burn a hole right to the head gasket and water starts getting into the combustion chamber on them. You won't see it in your oil and you won't see oil in your coolant. You'll just find that you're losing coolant and it's going into the combustion chamber and being burnt and spit out the exhaust. So I hope that's not the case here. But now that I know that, I checked the coolant and I definitely found her almost empty of coolant. I'm like, geez, all right. Let's pop this new battery in, start it up. If it gives me a hard time starting with this new battery, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to assume that there's water in the combustion chamber and it's locking up the piston. But we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and put the new battery in. Sometimes when you put these aftermarket batteries in, the posts for the battery are a little bit bigger than what the OEM uses. But it's easy fix. You can just take a drill and ever so slightly drill that out a little bit bigger. And that'll allow you to fit these aftermarket batteries on no problem. And by the way, another thing too with these lithium batteries, if your bike locks up like hydro locks because you're getting water in the combustion chamber, you go to hit the button and it doesn't start. These lithium batteries are great batteries, are lightweight, they hold a charge for a long time, but under a heavy load trying to start a bike that won't spin over, they have a tendency to just give up the ghost. And when he told me the battery died out of nowhere and I brought it in here and sure enough this battery is flat dead. Now he's telling me that it's been overheating. I'm a little suspicious. Fingers crossed everything's okay, but just being honest, a little suspicious. Let's get this battery in there. The Honda batteries are like 300 bucks, the OEM ones. For 76 bucks, you can't beat that one. Let's see. Well, so far so good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start her up, let her get nice and warm to make sure she doesn't start spitting coolant out. Again, I gotta check this thing out. I mean, he says that it killed the battery out of nowhere and it's been overheating, so I gotta check it out before I hand it back to him. So let me start it back up, get it fully warm. While it's warming up, I'll go ahead and check the voltage on the battery again, make sure the stator is doing a good job at charging it up. So let's get her fully warmed up and see what we have. Then we'll shut her down, let her sit for a few minutes to give the coolant time. If there is a head gasket leak, give it some time to dribble some water into the combustion chamber, and then we'll try starting her up again and see if it gives us a hard time. While I'm checking the voltage, make sure the stator is doing a good job of charging the battery back up. I also need to make sure it's not overcharging the battery, because that can kill batteries too. So sometimes the voltage regulator can go stupid and start sending 15 volts or 16 volts or even 18 volts in the battery. We don't want to see that. So let's see what she does. All right, the battery's connected and we got a voltmeter on it. It's reading 13.31 volts right now. I'm going to start it up. The voltage will drop during startup, and initially after startup, what I'm looking to see is the voltage come up higher than 1331 or 1332. Now, see it come up higher than that. That'll let me know that the stator is doing its job. And then also we're going to let her get nice and warm and make sure that we don't have any head gasket leaks or anything. We're at 1364. We're doing good. Charging system's good. Okay, as you can see, I got her up a little over 200 degrees coolant temperature. That's hot enough. They typically don't get that hot when you're out riding on the track. As long as you're on the track, I mean, if you're in the trails riding slow, they can get kind of warm. But, you generally want to keep them 200 or less. But I got it up a little over 200 to test it out. And it's not overflowing any coolant on the floor yet or anything. So that's good, because usually if you have a head gasket leak, I would see that pretty quick. As if it's leaking between the combustion chamber and the water jacket, the combustion pressure will be pushed into the water jacket, which will pressurize the coolant system and push coolant out the overflow. But since I'm not seeing that, I'm starting to think she might be okay. I'm going to let her sit here for about 5 minutes, and that'll give time for the pressurized coolant system to push some coolant into the combustion chamber if we do have a head gasket leak, because there is pressure on the water line here. So if we have a head gasket leak, it'll push that coolant into the combustion chamber, and then it'll make it where it's hard to start in a minute. So let's see. Okay, she's been sitting for about 4 or 5 minutes, so let's see how she fires up. Good as gold. I think she's going to be okay. I'm not going to pop that cap off right now because there is pressure, but I can feel right here at the top of the radiator how hot it is, that she is full of coolant. If she's not full to the top, I did feel her just a couple minutes ago. If she's not full to the top, you won't get that type of heat on the top of the radiator. So she's full. I'm not going to pop that. But yeah, she's not putting any water on the ground, no coolant on the ground, and she's starting right up. So I'm going to give her a clean bill of health, and he can go ahead and put her back on the trail and see how she does. I'm starting to think he just overheated it, and it spit all its coolant out the overflow, and for some reason at the same time he killed his battery. But as of right now, everything's checking out good. Charging system's good. Got a brand new battery in there. She's firing right up. So yeah, this one's going to live to ride another day. I'd appreciate if you click like and subscribe. I have a whole lot more content coming on stuff similar to this. Catch you guys next time.